everybody, and welcome to another episode of Sports Rambling. I am your host, Brian Belsito, and I am here today with a celebration mostly of the NBA Finals and the NBA bubble. I got my boy, Young Kim, our fan correspondent, who has been with us every step of the way through each of the rounds as we've made predictions and talked about what's going on. So I'm going to get him in here in a moment. First and foremost, though, I want to congratulate any fans out there and the Tampa Bay Lightning organization itself on their second Stanley Cup championship that happened earlier this week. Congrats to them. A nice run by the Dallas Stars, but it turned out it was just a little too much Tampa Bay. Their goaltender was on fire, and they played much better when it came down to it, and they took the series 4-2. So congratulations to the Tampa Bay Lightning. Looking forward to getting to next season of hockey, so we'll have some coverage of that when that starts to get closer. Currently, we have a day that is unheard of in baseball history. Today is the second day of the playoffs. You have 8 games today. First time in baseball history, first time they've ever needed that many games because of the new playoff format. Hopefully, in my opinion, they don't stick with that format, but it makes for some excitement. Currently going on right now, we have a historic baseball game as far as playoffs go. We are in the bottom of the 12th between the Cincinnati Reds and the Atlanta Braves, and it is 0-0. That is the longest 0-0 ball game in postseason history. And when there's a postseason record or any baseball record that's set like that, that always amazes me because baseball has a history into the late 1800s, so that's a long time. So when you see something like that, it is when it's the first time, it's really Game 2 of the Astros and the Twins, 2-1 Houston Astros right now, bottom of the 8th. They're going to the 9th inning, actually. The Twins have a 17-game playoff losing streak going, so that is actually pretty sad. They were my World Series pick. The Twins were my American League representative in the World Series, so we'll see where that goes. Cubs Marlins are in the 7th, 1-0 Cubs. Mid-third, A's and White Sox 4-0. So we're getting that historic day of baseball kicked off right now. So without further ado, I want to get my buddy Young Kim in here to talk about some basketball bubble NBA finals. So here we go. I'm going to let him in right now, and we will be on our way.
You there? Hey, what's up, Brian?
What's going on, my friend? How are you today?
All right.
Yeah, everything good in SoCal? Everything?
Yeah, it's hot though today.
Is it really? Yeah, it's a little bit here in Arizona too. So anyway, I want to welcome everybody to the Homer edition of Sports. We've got Mr. Laker here. He is very happy that his Lakers have advanced to the finals, even though, if I recall, did we not both pick the Clippers to be here at this point?
Yeah. And Doc got fired.
Yeah, Doc got fired. And then if you remember when you and I were talking about that, I don't know, a week, 10 days ago, I said that could happen, and watch for him in Philly. So he's apparently meeting with Philadelphia today or tomorrow. Yeah, some news broke on that.
And who do you think the Clippers will hire?
I'd like to see them hire Sam Cassell, but I could also see Sam Cassell going to Houston since he played a great majority, won a couple titles there, most of his career there.
He played a big role there.
Yeah, exactly. So I would like to see Cassell get that job since he's been Doc's lead assistant for quite some time. But I know you have another idea. What are you thinking?
Tyronn Lue.
Yep.
I mean, he's a championship coach, so And Ballmer's a business guy. I mean, in the end, that's the reason I think Doc got fired. He just did not get the results.
Right.
Bottom line, he didn't get the results that was expected.
Right. And that's why I think Philly is a desired location for him. And that's because, Doc has a championship pedigree. He does have a title in Boston. And then he's known for, he went to the Clippers and he built them from being the doormat Clippers into a contender twice. Because, they went through the Lob City era. And then, hey, we got a visitor in the back. See, look, got a visitor in the back.
Is that Deuce?
That is Deuce, yeah. I didn't realize he was in here, so we'll see how that goes. But so yeah, Doc builds teams into contenders, and
Yeah.
he's got a title, and Philly's got a roster that a couple tweaks here and there, and
Oh,
he's
yeah.
got star power there. I think it's a good spot.
But I think, you know what? What's his name? Al Horford. I think he's just gone downhill.
Yeah,
Since
that's
he
a
left the
piece they've
Celtics.
got to find somewhere to trade that piece somewhere that makes sense and maybe get.
But he makes too much money for
Yeah.
the way he's playing now.
Right.
You know, like 2-3 years ago, yes, he's very worth that money, but to count his salary cap. But now he's just a shell of himself.
He is.
I don't know.
He doesn't fit what they do.
Huh?
He doesn't fit what they do. He's just like Embiid.
He has to play 5. He can't play 4 in the NBA anymore. Right. I don't think. He has to play 5. And Embiid's there. And for the salary he makes, you can't keep him.
Yeah, exactly. So let's talk about the conference finals and what we saw there. And let's start in the East. We saw 4-2 Miami Heat over Boston Celtics.
Yeah.
Both of us had the Heat going out in the second round to the Milwaukee Bucks, and they kind of steamrolled them, especially once Greek Freak went out.
Yeah, so, that was unexpected. So yeah,
it was.
Miami's tough. Just the way they play as a team. Everyone's on a string on defense. They'll have some couple of weak guys on defense. No one's really left on an island.
Right.
You know, they cover for each other.
Right.
Indeed. Especially in that zone. In that zone, the Celtics couldn't figure it out.
The
last game, you wouldn't think a zone would work in the NBA, but you know it worked. And Celtics were starting to figure it out, but it's too late by then.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they didn't play a traditional 2-3. They played a 3-2. So they made the Celtics kind of. It took them too long to get into their offense when they did figure it out.
Yeah, it was crazy. I'll never, because you would never think a zone would work with the sharpshooters they have in the NBA. You would never think a zone would work in the NBA to that degree.
Yep. So speaking of the Celtics, what do you think they need? First of all, I want to ask you: do you think Jason Tatum is a number one option on a championship contender, or do they need another like a superstar, or is he?
No, he's number one option on a championship team.
Okay.
He's good enough. He just has to show up in the first quarters. He just so crappy in the first quarters. He's got to come out and ready to play and seem like. But it might be that whole bubble thing also.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Certain guys, they're saying like Paul George just wasn't a fan of it. Like that's what. The only excuse they're giving us is Paul George not playing so well in the bubble. Yeah. So he hated it. So
he talked about depression and stuff like that because being away from family and being stuck with just ball players and team officials and stuff for so long.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we think the Celtics will continue to be a title contender. I do think that they need they lack one thing, and that's that sharpshooting 3-point, JJ Redick or something like that. You know. Hayward's pretty good. Smart's pretty good.
What they need a healthy Hayward. That's what they really need.
Yeah.
Because Hayward in the first game he came back in the bubble versus Heat. Celtics won that game because he didn't have big stats, but he just knows how to play. He moves the ball. He shoots at the right times. But the last game, God, he was a liability.
He was.
Good God.
He was. But they said he was playing at maybe 80%. He was still his leg was still hurting him, and I worry about that with him. You and I talked about he is an athletic wing, knee injuries, ankle injuries, broken ankle, all that stuff starts to take its toll on your body. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and that horrible that horrible injury he had in Cleveland, that alley-oop from Kyrie. Yep. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was bad.
Even that was like one of him, Paul George. As broken bones go, Paul George and him, those are the ones I've seen the most gruesome.
And the Livingston one with the knee injury back in the day. And the Louisville kid in the tournament a couple of years ago.
I didn't see that one.
That one was bad. That was a compound fracture on a jump shot. He came down.
I hate. You know what I hate on those things? They keep trying to replay over and over and over and over.
That March Madness one with the Louisville guy, I jumped off the couch. Dar was in the kitchen, and I jumped off the couch and was like, "Oh man!" And she was like, "What?" And I said, "I can't even rewind it."
It was like, do you remember when LT broke Theismann's leg?
Yeah. Yep.
It was like, oh my God, just like, and they just kept showing the replay over and over and over. I'm going, what the fuck?
Yeah, please
Oh
stop. Please
man.
stop. So I
Yeah.
guess we'll wrap up that series and say the X factor or the hero, if you will, was Tyler
Yeah,
Hero.
Tyler Hero.
Whew. Coming out
Yeah.
party for a 20-year-old dude. That guy went off.
Mhm.
That was an impressive performance.
Yeah, and he scores at all levels though. He scores on the three. He finished pretty well at the basket, and then he's got a mid-range game.
Yep.
So and he's got good, decent handles. Although last game, those Celtics got him to turn the ball over quite a few times. So we might see that from the Lakers. Just pressure him if he has the ball, bring it up. Just pressure him the whole time.
Right.
We might see that from the Lakers.
Right.
Because when they in the NBA, I guess in any industry, when they see a little bit of weakness in you, they're gonna try to attack that weakness. This is the pros,
Right.
sort of for money, marbles, all that stuff. So
Yep.
yeah.
So moving over to the West, congratulations, my friend. Your Lakers are in another NBA Finals, first time in a decade.
That was easy money against Denver. Oh
yeah,
wow.
4-2 over the Nuggets.
Mm.
I think talking about the Nuggets first. It's a shame that Jamal Murray got tweaked a little there towards the end of the series, and he wasn't himself. They weren't going to win the series anyway. It was obvious that what was going to happen.
Yeah.
But I think
and
we also
Gary
saw
Harris was bad. Gary Harris was bad in that series. Oh my goodness.
He was.
And he's a legit starting two guard in the NBA. Not a superstar, but he's a legit very solid player in the NBA.
Right.
Good defender, can knock down shots, but he was knocking down nothing.
Yep.
He was actually a liability. What's his name played much better? Monte Morris was playing really good, I thought. Yeah.
He did.
Yeah.
I think one of the other things we saw was, and we talked about this being a possibility leading into the series, was the Joker got worn down. He had to do too much, and the Lakers had too many bodies they could throw at him. And while Plumlee's a good backup, he's not going to get you what you need. Joker was tired towards the end of the series. He kind of ran out of gas, I think. So.
And I think that's the reason he started fouling a lot too.
Yeah, right.
Because that's when you get foul trouble is when you get tired, right?
Yep.
So even though they're complaining like he's not getting calls, but in the end, calls actually I think they kind of even out in the end. A 7-game series, yeah, you're gonna get some, you're not gonna get some. Yeah. But he was getting foul trouble. I think, like you said, I agree. He's getting a little worn down, so he's reaching a lot and stuff. A little late to the spot by half a step. That's the foul. So.
Yeah, I was glad to see you on Facebook in a little bit of reality post that one picture that was the Lakers starting lineup minus Kuzma, and then there was a referee.
The ref? Oh, Scott Foster. Oh my God. He's so pro. I love Scott Foster. Man, he's so pro Lakers.
Yeah, he is. He is. So one thing we've got to talk about just real quick before we get to the matchup between the Heat and the Lakers. LeBron James closer in Game 6, man. That was 38, 16, and 10. That was a virtuoso performance. Just a
Dude, 17th year. This is unreal.
It is.
Yeah.
It really is.
It's all incredible. That miles he has in his body. And he's in the playoffs. He missed. Maybe his body's a little bit refreshed from missing last year playoffs.
Yeah, it could be.
He had that groin injury. He had, so, and he definitely takes care of his body. That's like,
Yep.
He could play. I think he's gonna be able to play for another. If he wants to. I think he could play another like 5 years or so.
Is there any thought process that would lead him to retire after a ring? I don't think so. Just given the fact that it wouldn't be one in front of fans, it'll be
maybe. I think I've heard this rumor like he wants to retire after he can play with the sun.
Yeah.
That's
and if we know the NBA like we know the NBA, somehow whatever team he's on at that point, which will probably be the Lakers, they have a 1 in a million chance of getting the first pick. Oh, looky here, they got the first pick. But I haven't really read up much. I mean, I've seen stuff here and there about his son. It sounds like he's got a little bit of developing to do, so we'll see where that goes.
Oh no, stuff I seen for his age. I seen on the clips on YouTube. He's really good.
Yeah.
He passes really well. Like he hits the open guy right on the money.
Yep. Yep. So real quick before we switch over to the finals, Nuggets future, just real quick, are they a title Are they a title contender going forward?
They would need another. God, you know who they missed too? They missed Will Barton. Will Barnes is a big piece for him. He
Mm-hmm.
scores easy. He's an athletic wing. He can play 2 or 3. But with the salary cap, who can you add though?
Yeah, right.
Right?
It'll be interesting.
Unless they want to deep into the penalties over the cap.
The luxury tax.
Yeah, luxury tax. What are you gonna do? Because I think Jamal Murray's is maxed out, right?
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, and I think Joker's gonna be maxed out.
Right.
And I think Garrett Harris a decent contract.
And you got Porter. Porter's gonna need to get paid at some point.
Porter, you can wait on. I think he's a rookie, so you can wait on him. Yep. But maybe that's it. Maybe that's their big three. Porter.
I think it could be. Could be. So, moving on to the finals, we've got the Miami Heat versus the Los Angeles Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
The all Shaquille O'Neal finals. Did you see that stat that it's been since like the 80s since there's been a finals without a Shaquille O'Neal teammate?
Since like what was it? Shaquille came in the league in what 80? What year did Shaq come in the league?
Yeah, I think he came into the league in 91, 92.
Did he? I think he came. Did he?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. God, the good old memories going here.
Yeah, but that just means that when every finals right around that time had somebody he eventually played with, and every finals during his career, somebody that he had played with made it, and then after his career, they're still making it. So that's just incredible.
Nigga, Shaq, Orlando.
There you go. There you go. Let's go with. I wanted to go down a list that I think is pretty cool. We'll go from 10 to 1. 10 most important players in the series. At 10, I've got Caldwell Pope. I think he's going to be important in the series. He's got to knock down open jumpers. That's all it comes down to.
And play defense. 3 and D guy. So.
Yep.
At number 10, I have Andre Iguodala. I got Iggy.
6 consecutive finals.
Yeah, pretty impressive. He's a winner, and he knows how to play. And last game, was he like 5 for 5 on threes in the closeout game?
Yep. Plays
great. Steve Kerr says he's one of the greatest defenders he's ever seen.
Yeah.
He's just right up there with the likes of – I don't think he's quite like Pippen or Kawhi, but he's right a little below. He has great hands. And I put him number 10 because when he comes in, he will be guarding LeBron.
Yeah. And he's been known to give LeBron a little bit of trouble.
Oh, yeah.
So, number 9, I have wingman for Miami, Duncan Robinson.
That's who I have too.
Nice. All right, we agree there. So I think that if they have any shot at taking a couple games and making this thing a long series, he's got to consistently knock down his threes.
Yeah, they got to be on fire. For Miami to win this series, they have to be on fire from the three. Yep. They got to make, like I say, about 23s a game.
Yeah. At number 8, another body to be thrown at LeBron. This is a guy that I love from his time with the Utah Jazz, and that Jay Crowder.
Jay Crowder?
Yeah. He plays D. He can get hot from 3 from time to time. He's tough.
Yeah.
So I think he's another body that they're going to have to use on LeBron for a few minutes each night.
Okay. And for my number 8, I got Rondo. Playoff Rondo, baby.
Yep.
He's been playing really well. And shockingly, his weakness has always been his shooting. And he's been shooting around like 40% clip from the 3. So that's not really like a weakness, but you can't trust him to take, like, in the clutch moments. I'm not trusting Rondo to make that shot. But during the whole game, I think Rondo plays great defense, rebounds really well for his size. Obviously, he's a great passer, all that stuff. He's their Lakers' only other playmaker next to LeBron. So,
and he's like the Lakers' enforcer too. He doesn't take crap from anybody. So number 7, I got the Dragon, Dragic. His scoring, his ball handling is going to be very important against the Lakers' defense. A guy
very crafty.
Score. Yeah,
he's very crafty lefty, and he can shoot. You can, if you had a really good point guard that could take advantage of the situation, you could probably take advantage on defense. But Lakers don't. So Lakers really don't. So, and for me, number 7, I got Kyle Kuzma. Okay, and he should be the Lakers' number 3 scorer. But of course he's inconsistent. But when he's on, He's a top-notch rotational player in the NBA. That's
Yep.
what I think. So
Yep. At number 6, we'll go real quickly past him. I have Rondo. We talked about it. His shooting is helpful
Yeah.
right now. His defense and
Yeah.
his passing and his
Eh,
veteran leadership.
And number 6, we talked already. I got Dragic, the Dragon
Okay.
Man.
All right.
So we can go
Now we'll
number
get
5
into
now.
the studs. At 5, I got Tyler Hero again. We talked about it with Duncan
Yeah.
Robinson.
Yeah.
Got to be on fire.
Yep.
Got to continue the level of play we just saw.
Great minds think alike. I got Hero at 5 too.
Right. At 4, I really battled with this one. At 4, I've got Jimmy Butler. I wanted to put him higher.
Yeah.
Is that where
You
you
know
have him as well?
what? You know, I have number 4 too. So yeah,
that's funny. Yeah, we've talked about him a lot. This guy's a leader. He's a great player, and he'll do whatever it takes to win a ball game. So
yes, he's tough, plays great defense. He's not gonna back down from anyone.
Yep.
And Jimmy Butler has that. I heard from some other show. I forgot who was talking about it. He has that irrational overconfidence where he thinks he's just good as LeBron. and he'll compete. He's not gonna back down. He's not compete. You know.
Yeah, and he's playing with a chip on his shoulder. He's playing with a chip on his shoulder because of the way he was treated by Chicago and by the way he was treated in Philadelphia, as if he wasn't a star in both spots. Yeah. And now he's found a home. I think he ends his career there. If they pay him, he ends his career there.
Oh yeah, and he should. He fits up perfectly. Yep. You know.
At number 3, I've got what might be the first point center of all time, judging by Game 6 in the East. Bam. Bam is their most important player in this series.
Yeah, they're most important.
Yeah, for sure. That was impressive to see him, take the ball out on the, out on the wing, isolate. He was passing. He was scoring. He plays defense. So he's a body for Anthony Davis. He may wear down a little bit in this series, though, because there's nobody else that they can put on Anthony Davis.
Yeah. Well, I have a number 3. Believe it or not, I put LeBron at number 3. Okay. Just because they have so many bodies to throw at LeBron. You're not gonna stop them, but they have Jake Crowder and they have Iggy, to a point, and Jimmy Butler. They have 3 guys who can actually guard him legitimately, not LeBron just run over. So I got LeBron at number 3.
All right, number 2, I have AD. This guy's one of the most important things and the interesting things about this guy is the fact that what's his story? In high school, he was a guard.
Point guard.
And he was like 5'8".
He was a little bit taller, I think, but he just blew up, though. Like, he was playing point guard.
Yeah.
That's what his guard. That's what he can dribble. That's what he can dribble and do all that stuff. So
he can dribble. He can shoot. He does it all. It'll be interesting to see what the Lakers do in the offseason with him, if he feels like he wants to go to Chicago if they win a title or something like that.
No, he's staying with the Lakers. Come on.
I've seen some rumors saying that he's looking at Chicago. He's a Chicago guy. So sure, though, the Lakers, I'm sure they'll lock him up, but it might get a little interesting there. We'll see.
So you'll be like KD, win a title, or would I go to the finals and leave? Oh, my goodness.
I think he's got a little more backbone than KD, though, so he may be locked in LA.
Let's see. Then you got that was
That was number 2. I have AD at number 2.
Okay, and number 2, I actually have Bam.
Yeah,
because I think Bam is the most important player for Miami. Like you said, point center, and he has a responsibility of guarding AD. And if he somehow keeps that matchup even, I think AD's better. But then I seen Bam like freaking because I think Greek Freak's better. Would you say Greek Freak's a better perimeter defender than AD? Right?
Yeah.
Okay. And I seen Bam take him from the outside and just freaking bully ball drive by him and dunk on him and shit. I go, shit. So that impressed me on the Greek Freak. That was impressive. And the way he was like, especially in the last game, he was just like torching who the hell guarded him, just taking him to the hoop.
He did. He was taking what's his name, Tice.
And Tice isn't that bad a defender though.
Right.
He was schooling him. I was going, oh wow. And I never really seen Tice get that manhandled.
Right.
Seriously. He was like dragging to the hoop like a rag doll, dude.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
God.
And
So
then,
let's see. And AD isn't that big of a guy. He's, is long, You
right.
never know. Bam could bully him. So just kind of go either way, maybe. If AD has to guard Bam, Bam might wear AD down. Who knows?
Yep.
They're playing every other day, right?
Yep. And then when you look at it with AD real quick, or you know what, let me go to my number one and then we'll get to AD.
Yeah.
My number one is, even though I suffer from chronic LeBron James fatigue, he is my number one, just because he is going to have the ball in his hands constantly, making plays, even if he's just making plays for his teammates. If his scoring is a little down in this series, he's, to me, the most important player in this series.
Okay. And for my number one, obviously, only one guy left is AD.
Right.
AD has to, because I think they have guys to actually, like I said before, neutralize LeBron. Not stop him, obviously. You're never going to stop a great player, but they have someone there. So, but I really don't think they have, even though Bam's great, I don't think they have anyone to stop AD.
Right.
I don't know. Then AD has to dominate that matchup.
Yeah, and where I was going to go with the AD comment just a few seconds ago was, as we've seen in the finals over the course of the last 3 or 4 years, a player gets hurt and a favorite loses.
Yeah.
They are one more tweak of his ankle away from the
series.
And
AD, that's me knock on his whole career is like he gets hurt a lot.
Right.
So one more twist ankle. Yeah, amazing player. So
all right, so let's move on to our pick. What's your pick?
Lakers in 5 or 6. Come on, it's a mismatch. I think. I don't know.
I've got Lakers in 5.
Yeah, even though I said like they have guys to contain LeBron, then they're gonna contain for probably he's gonna probably average like close to 30, 10 rebounds, 10 assists.
Yep.
And they're gonna combine LeBron and AD's gonna average about 60. And unless now Miami somehow just shuts everyone out to nothing.
And then on the other end is knocking down every 3-pointer they put up. They get hot from three.
They're gonna have to like 23s a game, 20 at least 23s to win a game. I think.
Yep.
So,
right, so we both got the Lakers winning this thing. You know where my rooting interest will be.
Oh no!
All right.
Also there's that Pat Riley hating LeBron factor going in. Also,
there you go. And you do have you got a great coach in Spoelstra. You got a very good coach in Vogel. I really liked Vogel when he was the Indiana coach.
I
thought he was really good.
Yeah, what happened to him at Orlando though? They had a decent team, but they never like a sub 500 team under him. Never got that. They had some talent there.
So let's get into I think this is an interesting list here, and then we'll get out of here. So I want you to start it. We'll start at 5, and we're going to count down our favorite NBA finals in our time as fans.
Yes.
My time as a fan and your time as a fan comes around the same time, 1980-ish. So I am going to go first, and I'm going to say, even though it was a dagger to my heart, the 1998 finals, Bulls 4, Jazz 2, Jordan with the steal, the push off, the
he
shot.
Cheated. Carry over.
It was
offensive foul. Oh,
it was still a fantastic series. Malone and Stockton had great moments. Brian Russell had great moments. As a Jazz fan, that 2-year run was my favorite run of their. Obviously,
Jazz got cheated that series.
And
didn't Hornacek hit a 3?
Hornacek
hit a 3. Someone hit a 3 for the Jazz. Was it Isley or someone?
It was Howard Isley, and they took it away.
Yeah, it was Isley. Right? Yeah, they took it away. They called it a 2 instead of a 3, right? And not a huge difference.
No, they called it was after the shot clock.
And it wasn't, right?
It wasn't. And then on the other end, they gave, I want to say it was Ron Harper, a 3 that was clearly a violation after the shot clock. So
they cheated.
There's a lot of spots I can go to in that series. That moment, if you'll remember, one of the the most memorable moments in that series was Dennis Rodman tripping Karl Malone 3 times on the way up the floor. That type of stuff. There should have been a T there. There was there was funny money stuff going on there, NBA stuff. But I still enjoyed it, even though I ended it Pretty upset, but it was still an enjoyable time as a Jazz fan. It's pretty sad that my highlight is a loss in the finals for my squad, but it's all good.
All
So what's your
right.
number 5?
So it's going to be mostly Lakers, obviously. So number
Sure.
5 is 1982 Lakers versus 76ers with Dr. J. That I think they had Andrew Toney, Mo Cheeks, and Bobby Jones. The Lakers with and this is before James Worthy came. It was Jamal Wilkes, a small forward, Cooper, obviously, Norm Nixon, and Magic.
Yep.
And it was all about the skyhook, baby.
Yes,
Skyhook left, skyhook right, MVP. There you go. You can move on.
Yep. My number 4, 1994, Jordan's first year in retirement. Rockets 4-3 over the Knicks.
The Knicks, yeah.
You had the added
drama, the Bronco chase.
Yes, I was just going to say you had the added OJ chase up the 405 freeway. I happened to be in a bar called Legends, if you remember Legends over by South Coast Plaza.
In Costa Mesa.
And
Costa Mesa, yeah.
Yep, one screen was the game, one screen was the chase, and we even had somebody come in and go, they just went by on the 405 while we were in there watching the game. So,
oh my
John
God.
Starks, it's memorable for him going 2 for 19 or something.
Oh,
crazy
I thought you
that.
meant like one. I thought you meant like 1 for something.
I think it was actually 2 for 19, and he just kept pulling and pulling, and it was a close game, and he just never.
Didn't he miss like fucking like 15 threes or something?
Something like that. Yeah.
Something crazy
Some
number.
Real bad number like that.
Yeah,
I was a fan of that.
And that was a quick. Yeah. And wasn't that game kind of close? Game 7?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it came down to the last few minutes.
Yeah.
So,
oh God.
What do you got at number 4?
I got this is my only non-Laker one. Warriors versus Cavs. Because I think that was first championship with a team with jump shots. Jump shot based team. There's some Steph. I love Steph. So it's like he's not a current favorite NBA player. And actually, he did not play up to par first 2 games. They were calling Dellavedova like Curry stuff. I'm going, get the hell out of here. Then Steph got his game going, just like crossover, boom, boom, fade away, 3, step back, boom, boom.
Yeah.
And that was a great series up. Too bad though. I would love to see that series, which we got to see next year when Warriors went up 3-1 and lost it. But I would love to see Kevin Love and Kyrie healthy in that series.
Yeah.
I think Kyrie got hurt in the first game in that series.
Yep.
Yeah, so.
My number 3, 2011, Dallas Mavericks 4, Miami Heat 2. You had the not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4 Miami Heat coming in very cocky.
Yeah. Yep.
You had Dirk and some great role players. I just happened to be in Vegas for the clincher, so I really enjoyed watching that. I just love that series.
Yeah, Dirk was on fire that playoffs.
Yep.
I think, didn't they sweep the Lakers to that series that year, right?
Yep.
I think Dirk was on fire.
Was that the Bynum launches J.J. Barea into the crowd and then walks off the court taking his jersey off?
Yeah.
So, what do you got at 3?
At 3, I got Lakers versus Celtics in '85. That was kind of memorable because in the very first game, it was called the Boston Massacre. And the score was 140. I wrote this down in my notes, 148 to 114. And they're calling the series over after the first game. Lakers are, they're calling, Lakers are just not physical enough, whatever. Eastern teams are more physical than Showtime. They can't do that. And then Lakers came back and won the series 4-2.
Yep.
So that's my 3.
Moving on to my number 2. Is that exact series you just mentioned.
Oh, really?
It's memorable, like you said, because of the Memorial Day Massacre. The press basically buried Kareem Abdul-Jabbar after that game.
Yeah.
Him old because he only scored like 13 points.
Yeah,
he came out in game 2 and put up 30, 17, and 8 on the parquet floor in Boston.
Yeah. You got skyhook left, skyhook right.
Yep. So that's my number 2, and then my number 1 is the year before. Your number 2. Yeah, I need your number 2.
Okay, that's your number 2. Okay, my number 2 is actually Lakers versus Detroit, 1988. That was a second of the back-to-back years, and back-to-back hadn't happened since I believe the Knicks teams from the 70s.
Yep.
So it was a while.
Yep.
So, and then that series was really memorable. Isaiah badly spraining his ankle and scoring like bucket after bucket.
Yep.
And then in the 7th game was memorable because like I think Lakers up a lot. And then Detroit had a chance to cut it down to 2, I think. And Rodman comes out and shoots a freaking like a 20-foot wing jump shot on a fast break. I'm going, oh, thank you. Thank you, Dennis.
That's memorable for me in that game when Zeke tweaked his ankle.
Yeah.
I had played freshman basketball at Tustin that year, and that night was our banquet. So one of my teammates was leaving the banquet and calling his brother or something at home and coming back in and giving us updates. And when he got an update of like Zeke has 20 in the 4th or something like that.
Man,
what is
it's going
on?
bonkers. Yeah, Zeke was going
crazy.
bonkers. And
Yep. And then let's see here. My number 1 is we're going to go to 1984. Celtics 4, Lakers 3.
Oh, yeah.
That's a memorable series in that there were 9 future Hall of Famers, 4 on the Celtics, 5 on the Lakers. There were 2 overtime games that Boston barely won, game 2 and game 4. That was game 2 was the game when Worthy threw the ball to Darrell Henderson. He went in and scored the tying bucket, and it went into overtime. And the Celtics won. Game 4 was the game where the Magic inexplicably, after a tying 3, he dribbled out the clock in regulation.
They start calling Tragic Johnson after that. They start calling Tragic Johnson.
And also nestled in there are 2 other big moments. You had McHale absolutely clotheslining Kurt Rambis on a fast break that started some, fisticuffs. You also had the Heat game, Game 5, where it was played in Boston, and the Lakers complained about the fact that it was like 97 degrees in the building. And you also in that series
was a sauna in there. There was like a sauna in there.
And in that series, you also had Larry Bird call out his teammates and call them a bunch of sissies, and they came back and won that series.
I remember that series, but it's not in my top because the Lakers lost. That would be my number 1 if the Lakers won, so it's not making my top 5. So my number 1 is obviously Lakers versus Celtics, 1987. And this is the moment when actually, as scoring-wise, Magic became the number 1 option. And he made that memorable baby sky hook over McHale, and with the help coming from a Parrish and Bird, he made that to win the game in the series. That was awesome.
I remember that moment for a specific reason as well. I was at Angel Stadium when Magic hit that baby skyhook runner over the middle. And the stadium went nuts. The players on the field were like,
what's going on?
Nothing was going on. They're like, what the heck? Because it must have, everybody in the stadium must have had a radio or something. So it was an interesting moment.
The pre-cell phone days.
Exactly. So here we go. We got the NBA Finals. So I am glad you stopped in so we could talk about this. The game's tonight. We will get this thing produced up on the page today. What's that?
Sorry. Sorry, I interrupted like a Trump did.
All good.
Oh my God, what a disaster that was last night.
That was a disaster.
And, get away from that nonsense into sports. But what time is? Because I'm gonna go play tennis around 3:30. What time is the game on that? Brian?
I'm looking right now. It is.
I haven't checked.
6 o'clock.
At 6 o'clock, perfect. So I get to come back from tennis, take a shower, enjoy the game. There you go.
I appreciate it, my friend. Thank you for stopping in. We're going to get out of here. Let's hook up again after the finals. Just a quick show after the finals to recap what happened in the finals.
All right, sounds good. And then after the NBA, let's do that boxing show. Roy Jones versus Tyson.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm down for that. And the other thing that I want to do is maybe it's a odd season. We've never had the NBA start. End in October. We're gonna get an end in October. It sounds like they're gonna start up again in January at the earliest.
January, February. That's what I heard. Yes.
That puts the draft somewhere probably in December. I haven't heard anything yet, but I would assume they want some time to scout.
Oh, you want me to you want me to study the draft? I got Mello.
Yeah, let's definitely do the week of the draft. Let's do something where we predict the lottery or something like that. So we'll stay on top of that.
Okay, sounds cool.
All right, man. I appreciate you stopping in again, dude.
All right, see you, Brian.
All right, man. Have a good one.
All right, bye. All right, look.